If you would like to donate to the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation, the money raised will be spent finding more effective ways to detect and treat cancer. It's a disease that affects far too many of us, but through the foundation we are genuinely doing something to change that and to change lives for people who are struggling with cancer now and who will be in the future. I would say, first of all, that anybody that does donate to the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation, it's always greatly appreciated. It's not something that we ever take for granted. Sir Bobby would never ever have taken it for granted, and always was greatly appreciative. Why people should raise funds for us? Well, I think unfortunately it's because so many people are touched by cancer. It is unavoidable, because if it's not you that's directly affected, it's a loved one, it's a neighbour, it's a workmate. It is far too prevalent, and we can only try our best, and we are doing something about it through the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation. So that would be my main reason, I think. And there's a lovely bit in Sir Bobby's last book called My Kind of Tune, where Sir Bobby writes that cancer takes no account of colour, and it's true. It doesn't matter whether you're red and white or you're black and white. It really doesn't matter. It affects everybody, young or old. So it's important for us. It's important for us to make sure that people across the region know that the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation, for all Sir Bobby had great links to Newcastle, Newcastle United, that we are here for the whole region and Cumbria, North East and Cumbria. So it's really important for us, and we've had tremendous support from Weir side and from T side, because we have patients from all of those places who are receiving treatment, which is funded through the foundation. And I think it's something. I mean, Sir Bobby was unique, I think, genuinely, and that's an overused word, but I think Sir Bobby was unique in what is a very parochial world in terms of football. That you might be a Sunderland fan, and well, he was a Newcastle manager, so I'm not really bothered about him. But he was also the England manager, and he was the kind of person that he was, and the dignity that he had, and the affection that he's held in, I think transcends the sort of traditional tribalism of North East football. And one of the things I love most about North East football is that kind of I want to say ferocity of spirit from the different clubs. I think sometimes it's a little too ferocious these days, but that's special. And we are genuinely, for the entire North East, for cancer patients, young and old, who are coming into Newcastle for specialist treatment, and we are funding new treatments, and pushing forward and doing things that are genuinely going to benefit everybody, not just in the North East, across the country and beyond. Since we launched in 2008, since Sir Bobby launched us, so that's 11 years now, and we've raised £13 million, and I say we have raised £13 million. We haven't. We're a fund within the Newcastle NHS charity, so that means that we don't have professional fundraisers to raise money or coordinate volunteers. We rely completely on people like yourselves who have come to us and said, we'd like to do this, we'd like to raise some money for you. So we've raised £13 million, and that money is going towards finding more effective ways to detect and treat cancer. So that's things like the trials of new cancer drugs in the Sir Bobby Robson Cancer Trials Research Centre. We fund an equivalent, in shorthand, it's a sort of an equivalent service for children as well, with help with Newcastle University and within the NHS Trust. We fund things like stereotactic radiotherapy. We fund a project called Project North East, which is £1 million project, and it's a genome sequencing project. So that's looking at DNA and personalised medicine. So basically that just gives you a sort of a feel for some of the things that we fund. But it's basically, I think that, to use a football analogy, when you've got when people say, why should we support your foundation as opposed to another cancer charity, and the football analogy is, okay, well, there are lots of fantastic charities, cancer charities, doing excellent work, and we work in partnership with them as well, because we don't want to duplicate effort. But when you look at a team, you need all 11 players on that pitch to be doing their job properly to succeed. And so Bobby was all about teamwork. But I always think of the foundation, I always think of us as the striker. I always think as we're up front and we're pushing all the time. What is the next new treatment? What is the next big thing in terms of cancer treatment? What can we be doing that's different, that's going to change lives now and in the future? And that's really how we're positioned. And I think again, it's very much, we are Sir Bobby Robson's charity. We're not a charity in his name, we're not a charity in his memory, we are his charity. He set us up with a specific goal in mind, and we've grown and grown since then. But Sir Bobby was, oh God, I'm going to say this is dreadful, solution focused. I heard in a meeting the other day, but it's true. He was somebody who focused absolutely. When there was a problem or an issue, he didn't waste time. Whose fault is this? Or none of that. It was always, okay, so what are we going to do about it? And that's really what the foundation is. It's an extension of Sir Bobby's personality. What are we going to do about it? Except for this time, the problem is cancer. It's just a huge problem that affects everybody, and this is what we're doing about it. We're funding the scientists, we're funding the doctors and the nurses, and we're working with patients who are undergoing trials of new treatment to try and really change lives now and in the future. Well, I'm extremely lucky. I've worked for the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation since day one, so I was there when Sir Bobby launched the charity in 2008. I look after the publicity side of things and work with fundraisers to help promote the events and to help promote the work that we fund, so that when people have donated money, that they can see where their money has gone. It's really important for us that people understand that the money's not just going in a pot and sitting there, it's actually doing something. So that's my job. But I've got a season ticket in Gallagher, so for me to be involved in the foundation at all is it's a passion and a privilege, really. It's incredible, and I count myself lucky every single day that I can genuinely say that my best and favourite manager in my working life was Sir Bobby Robson. It's not. I was going to say there's quite a few names on the top of these stones will probably say the same thing. It's a tremendous thing, and I mean, unfortunately, a month after we lost Sir Bobby, my sister was diagnosed, and we lost her 9 months after that. So I am aware of the pain that cancer causes, but I'm also aware of the kind of togetherness that it brings. We're talking about fans of different clubs coming together, and it is that, it is the fact that Borough fans have had fundraising events for us. It's the fact that Sunderland fans have, and Carlisle fans. It's really special, and ultimately, Lady Elsie was very keen. After Sir Bobby died, she was really keen for the foundation to continue, and she had that conversation with Professor Ruth Plummer, who's the director of the Sir Bobby Robson Centre, in the week after he died, and said, we're doing so much good here, we want to carry on. And she is essentially what so many fundraisers are, people who come to us and say, we'd like to raise some money because my husband died, or my sister died, or my friend died, and sometimes people who are poorly themselves and want to do something. It's that kind of togetherness and that team spirit that really makes it special, makes the foundation special.